Have you ever really stopped to think about what makes a story calming? I mean, we all know about bedtime stories, right? But we almost never break down how they actually work. So in this explainer, we're going to do something a little different. We're going to treat a simple story like a scientific text to find its hidden formula for rest. Because let's be honest, we've all been there. Your mind is just racing and it will not switch off. So how can a few simple words quiet all of that noise? That's the big question we're really digging into today. And here's the secret. The calming effect of a good story, it's not an accident, not at all. It's actually a carefully crafted recipe, a very intentional design aimed squarely at slowing down our thoughts. So that's what we're going to do here. We're going to pull this formula apart piece by piece and really understand how it works its magic, guiding a listener from feeling stressed to feeling, well, at peace. Okay, so first things first, we have to understand the problem that a story like this is designed to solve. A truly calming story doesn't just ignore our stress. No, it starts by meeting us exactly where we are, feeling totally overwhelmed. See? The story doesn't pretend we're already calm. It kicks things off by acknowledging that exact feeling of being busy and restless. It validates how we feel right from the very beginning, which is so important. It's like the story is saying, hey, I see you, I get it. And then it does something really clever. It immediately gives us a contrast, putting our own internal chaos right next to the effortless calm of the natural world. Think about it. The stars and the ocean, they're not trying or stressing, they just are. And that simple observation plants a tiny seed of possibility, the possibility of calm. So, now that the stage is set, we can start breaking down the actual components, the specific ingredients in this amazing recipe for rest. The very first ingredient is the choice of words. The story is built with language that is intentionally, soft. It's non-demanding. There are no harsh sounds, no urgent commands, nothing like that. Just listen to the words here. A breeze doesn't just blow. It whispers slowly. And worries don't just disappear, they float away. This kind of language doesn't demand anything from you. It just suggests this state of effortless release. Okay, the second ingredient is just as important. It's the imagery. The story very intentionally fills its world with things that require absolutely zero mental effort from us. There's no complicated plot to follow, no puzzle you have to solve. I mean, look at these examples. A cat curled up, a lantern just glowing, a tree standing still. These are images of pure being, not doing. They're modeling a state of rest, and that gives our minds a sort of template for what it feels like to just be calm, without needing to accomplish a single thing. Now, this final ingredient is, for my money, the most fascinating one. It's what really turns this story into a powerful tool for relaxation, and that is radical, deliberate repetition. So, the source material here is a collection of 10 bedtime stories. And here's the wild part. All 10 stories are exactly the same, word for word. Now, that is not a mistake. It is the core of the technique. Think about it. By the second or third time you hear it, your brain already knows what's coming. There are no surprises, which gets rid of any anticipation or anxiety. It basically tells your mind, you can let go, you don't need to pay attention anymore, you can just rest. So, we have our ingredients, right? Gentle language, passive imagery, and repetition. Now let's look at how they're all combined into this really clear step-by-step process. The story basically takes you on a 5-step journey. It starts by acknowledging your restlessness. Then it shows you the calm of nature. It guides you through a mindful action, like a slow walk. Then it gives you a gentle truth. And finally, this is key, it gives you explicit permission to rest. It's a structured path designed to literally walk your mind from a state of anxiety to a state of peace. So why does this specific recipe work so incredibly well? Let's take a quick look at the psychology underneath it all. This is where it all clicks into place. On the left, you have the typical patterns of a busy mind. You know the feeling, right? Worry, rushing thoughts, all that stuff. And on the right, you can see how the story offers a gentle replacement for each of those patterns. It's not fighting the anxious mind. It's simply offering it a calmer, easier path to follow. And all of this builds to what is probably the most powerful part of the entire formula, giving the listener explicit permission to just stop. Right in the middle of the story, it drops this little piece of wisdom. In a world that is constantly screaming at us to go faster, this statement is just a profound release. It completely separates our value from our speed. And then it completely reframes the idea of rest. It's not a weakness anymore. It's not a failure to be productive. Instead, the story presents it as an act of strength, a really brave choice in a world that never stops moving. And this is the final gift the story gives you. After stripping away the need to rush and the pressure to always be strong, it leaves you with this simple, unconditional acceptance. There's nothing left to do. There's nothing left to prove. So, when you put it all together, the formula of this simple story leaves us with a really provocative question for our culture of constant hustle. What if the path to true strength isn't found in doing more, but in finally giving ourselves permission to do less?